One of the most unfortunate things for you to do is to not respect your adult child's wishes, even if you believe that you were unjustly accused. If you're a parent struggling with estrangement, you've probably seen a lot of advice online that tells you just to show up anyway or dismiss your child's experience entirely. Is this really the way to heal? We're going to break down some of the most misguided social media advice and some really good stuff so you can avoid the traps that keep you stuck and start moving toward real growth. Let's watch.
If you're a loving grandparent and your estranged adult kids refuse to allow you to see your grandkids, whether it be at the holidays or always, then you find out that those kids are going to be in a Christmas concert and you're local, don't not show up. Sit in the back if you have to, but take in the joy that comes from watching them perform. You deserve it. And they deserve to know that you're there for them and that you love them and you support them. It sends a strong message to everyone involved, but especially and most importantly, those kids.
Okay, so this creator is called the Doormat Mom, and she tells parents to disregard the boundaries and just push back, show up uninvited, and refuse to take responsibility. But let's be honest, this doesn't rebuild trust. It actually confirms to the adult child why they pulled away in the first place. And if you want to reconnect, the path isn't through defiance, it's through self-reflection and genuine change. Hi, I'm Marie Morin. I'm a licensed therapist and an estrangement coach with both personal and professional experience. My work has been to provide a roadmap to navigate grief and boundaries with family members so that they could find some healing, they can find self-compassion and some clarity. Between my book, my programs, and lots of research and my clinical practice, I've helped hundreds of people to find guidance and hope no matter the outcome. From what adult children have told me, what adult children are saying on social media is they would love to have their parents be able to come and be there, but they need them to rebuild trust. And there's a reason why. It's because trust was broken beforehand. Like, okay, let's establish right now that there are outliers, that there are times where parents are accused of things and been unjustly told, do not go there. But if this is your situation, one of the most unfortunate things for you to do is to not respect your adult child's wishes, even if you believe that you were unjustly accused. So this content creator, Doormat Mom, has lots of followers. They have a Facebook group. It kind of feels from all of the videos that I've been listening to that many of these parents are gathering to wallow together. And I've heard some of my clients tell me the very same thing about some of these Facebook groups where there's not a lot of personal growth. And that's the piece that adult children are really talking about. They're saying they wish that their parents would just go get help. They wish that they would talk to someone and find, as Dr. Joshua Coleman says, find that nugget of truth. Find out what it is that I've been telling you that's been troubling me, and let's work it out together. These adult children want that. And unfortunately, this video basically demonstrates that there's not going to be a rebuilding of trust because there's not even any accountability. She's normalizing the idea of not doing any self-reflecting and making it okay to do so. And this is really not helpful. Let me again say that when adult children are abusive, boundaries are necessary. As a matter of fact, this woman has said she's cut off her kid. But we're going to watch another one, and you'll get a little bit more of a taste of what this person is espousing to help parents. Just a warning that she's quite animated in this.
Were you a really good parent who did the best they could, and yet your child has decided to be an ungrateful little bastard as an adult? If that's you, join me here. Follow me on this account and actually join my Facebook group, Doormat Mom No More. There are a lot of really good parents out there who did everything that they could. and yet their kids are ungrateful little bastards. We need to connect here. We need to support each other, and we need to talk about it.
The first time I noticed this person, I was just astounded that she would publicly shame her adult child and speak in such disparaging terms about her child publicly. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. And actually, I feel very sad for her that she would have that perspective, but clearly she's grieving in such a way that her anger has somewhat taken over her better sense, because we know that people want connection with their moms and their dads. And in this case, this adult child, we don't really know the circumstances. She says that if you want to know the details, you have to read her book. And I've chosen not to do that so far. But we know that people want to be connected to their parents. They want the relationship. And if there's been trust, if the parents have been present for their kids, they've been attuned, they've been there for them, they love them. It's not just about giving them things, doing the best, and being these great parents. It's not just about that. It's about having this connection, okay? Adult children want this. People want this. We want to be bonded to the most important person in our life, which is our moms. This is the first real connection that we have as humans, is the mother-child connection. And this person, the doormat mom, has decided, well, you're ungrateful and I want nothing to do with you. And now I'm going to create a group chiming in with other families that are in this similar boat, that we're going to just call our kids ungrateful. And this is just so very sad. And I suspect that this type of an attitude is really going to impact this movement of more people distancing themselves from family. It just says a lot of hate. It says a lot of disregard for personal growth and accountability. I think what adult children are saying, and if you go into TikTok land of adult children, you'll see them talking a lot about how this type of discussion, this kind of creator is really the victim, the victim of their child. And that's where we get into this, oh, you're just the victim. And it really feels so divisive that we can't see each other as just like people having a hard time getting along, parents having a hard time being able to do what's necessary, adult children too. Because let's face it, I mean, there are some adult children who decide to cut off and don't give an opportunity for repair. They haven't said, hey, I really would like to go to therapy. There are those that have done that. Not all. I'm not using a broad brush stroke to say all of them have. And it's a good idea for that to happen. So let's have a conversation. Let's talk about this. For the most part, adult children are saying, hey, I've been telling them, I've been trying to say something. I've been mentioning it to them. When you have somebody like this creator kind of propagating this type of propaganda, basically, that it's okay to treat or feel this way about your child, it's basically supporting what adult children are saying in the first place, that parents are the victim. They're the victim of their kid and they don't want to take accountability. And I'm curious as to what it is as a society we need to do to say, I want to be responsible for my behaviors. If I've done something, hey, I want to say I'm sorry. I want to have remorse. I want to talk about these things, and I want to point it out and say, I want to change. I want to do better. This is what's going to help people get back into relationship with their adult children. If there's been a no contact, there's other different circumstances. I have videos about no contact and some of the do's and don'ts. I'm going to look at another creator, and this is a totally different thing. It's just quite amazing, and her name is Elizabeth.
I've really been missing my daughter the last couple of days. For anyone that's new here, my daughter has not spoken to me since March 5th of 2021. So it's been a little over 3 years. And yes, my drinking played a huge role in why she left. She was actually taken away from me. I lost temporary guardianship. And my heart is broken. My heart is broken for her because she had to deal with me acting like an idiot, passing out on the couch, hiding my alcohol from her, trying to convince her that I wasn't drinking when I was, and lying to her. There were times when I called her names like a bitch. I was completely out of line, and I deserved for her to leave me, but it still hurts. I wish that I could go back and change things. I hope that one day she'll come back around and I can, make amends to her and somehow, have a conversation with her that would maybe help heal her heart. And it's really kept me sick. My shame and my guilt, my absolute despair has kept me sick for a long time. So I think now that I'm getting sober, all of those feelings are coming back to me. And I'm thinking about her a lot. I pray for her every day. And I pray that we'll be reunited at some point. But I know right now is not the time. I fully accept that. I hope that in the future, if I can make a living amends and get long-term sobriety, that would make a difference. I don't know if she's ever found my TikTok, but there's definitely some things on here that I wouldn't have wanted her to see. I've been a shit show, and I'm sorry. I know that probably doesn't mean anything, but I'm sincerely sorry. And I hurt you. For anyone who's struggling with drinking and has children, I beg you to please seek help, to please start your own sobriety journey. Don't want to end up like me. This is such a hard thing to live with. And it's a weird thing. I'm technically a mom, but I don't think of myself as a mom anymore. I don't think I've earned that title at this point. So I've pretty much had an identity crisis, losing her. And try to take a hold of things before they get too bad. There's hope. If you get a hold of it sooner than later, there's hope that maybe you can repair those relationships and learn from me. You can do it.
So with this woman recovering, Elizabeth, she's had an addiction problem. Her substance use, her alcoholism was very apparent. It harmed her as a child. What's interesting, I find here, and which I really wanted to show this video, is because she's someone who has sincere remorse for her behaviors. She knows what contributed. She calls herself out. She apologizes. I guess the worst of this is the degree of shame that she has. It's not uncommon when parents are very aware they go through this. This is the part of grief, and this is where getting mental health support. She's in recovery, so she's getting the support. But her courage is really inspiring, and I know that many of you did not have this level of offense and harm to your adult child or pain that you caused them. I know many of you provided what you thought was a wonderful life, and there were many, many contributors to your adult child leaving. And I want to be empathetic to that and let you know I get it. But this parent has that level of remorse and humility that says, you know what, I get it, I know what I did, and I'm going to say I'm sorry for it. And the other thing about it is I believe she's modeling something that the first mom didn't have, which is this kind of unconditional love. And that's something else that I think in future videos that we can discuss about how our kids really want this kind of unconditional love. And it is a very unfair playing field. We find this in some of the literature, that they do hold all the picture cards, okay? If they don't want to have a relationship with you, you really can't do anything about it. And it's called radical acceptance. We have to radically accept. We don't want to go into a place of shame, but if we're there, we can work it through, do the work. But I think it's extremely important to use this as a model of someone who's identifying, what did I do? What is it I need to be sorry for? And she's very courageous for doing this. And I want to also recognize that many of you worked hard to be parents, and you did the best you could with the resources you had. And I truly believe that you did the best you could. Some of you were harmful, and maybe your level of insight was that you did not honor your child at all as to have the right to be their own person. I think it's very possible that there are parents, just as there are adult children, that have been horrible with their family members, and it makes a lot of sense why this has happened in your family. But there are parents that we can call them, they tried to do the best that they could, but there were things that happened. There were things that happened that were enough for your adult child to say, I need a break. I need some time away. And perhaps there wasn't a lot of respect given. We take into account that there are many contributors for family estrangement. We can't paint everything with a broad brush. Not every parent is a narcissist. There clearly are some that are very interested in gaining a lot of attention because of what they did.
My kids don't talk to me right now. I couldn't be more proud of them. I mean, does it devastate me? Of course it does. Every day, I'm heartbroken. But I couldn't be more proud of them. They're doing what is best for them. And at this point in their life, they think the best choice for them is to not have contact with me. Well, good for you. Like, it makes me cry. I want my children to have their own self-esteem and their own self-love. And they're pursuing it. And yes, it's not the best situation for me, but my job as a parent is to create an environment where they pursue who they want to be and live the life they want to live.
What I love about this last video and his name is Kenny Weiss, is that he's looking beyond himself. And I think that's what we talk about a lot in this space. And therapists talk about it. It's about personal growth, whether you're the adult child, whether you're the sibling or the parent. No one wants to shame another person. Adult children shouldn't be shamed. Parents should not be shamed. And therapists try to say don't should on yourself, but in this case I think the should is a necessary word. What we need to be doing is looking in terms of what our role is as a parent and what it's always been. It's not about ownership. It's not about what our kids do for us as they get older. They're supposed to launch, right? They're supposed to go off and do their thing. And if it includes us, that's wonderful. It's wonderful to have family that stays with you. But if they don't, and it's because things happened, in their lives or between you and them that became unmanageable for them, or for the time being, maybe they need some space for whatever reason, this is an opportunity for parents to grow and to say, let me take a look. Let me just take a look. What can this mean for my personal growth while I'm still blessing my children in their lives? I think what this creator has done is basically get to a place of radical acceptance. And this is when you just say, you know what, I may not like this, but this is where it's at, and I'm not going to judge it. And that place of being in a state of unconditional love as a parent, it's quite remarkable that he was able to get there. So much different from doormat mom. So the advice you follow truly does shape the estrangement, right? It does. You can nail the coffin shut with this kind of defiance. You're going to do it your way. You're going to do it anyway. You can reinforce how much of a victim you are, of what your family did to you, what your child did to you, what your parent did to you, okay? You could do that, but you're really robbing yourself from this place of healing and personal growth. And this may not be a very popular perspective because we kind of want to be right. I love being right, actually, and we all like to be right, but do we want to have peace or do we want to be right? Well, pick one. Whether or not reconciliation is possible, we don't know. Sometimes things can be so messy it can't happen. But the key is to be making peace. We want to go towards peace. We don't want to fuel more fire of vitriol and anger and hurt and pain, but we want to go towards peace. If you like this video, hit the subscribe and leave me a comment. I'm really interested to know. I know I'm going to get people that are angry with me and are like, oh my God, Marie, I can't believe you changed sides. And I don't think I'm changing sides. I think I'm continuing on the journey to bring both perspectives and say, hey, let's look at this. Let's look at this with at least as much of an objective and unbiased lens as possible. See you in the next video.